the Social and Economic Council of United Nations. And I have been working for ECOSOC and the Greater China area for more than 10 years. But today, I only have a very little time to share with you this topic. So I'm going to make it short. But my purpose is to lead you for further thinking into the future. Okay, so let's start with the question. Well, how much is the value of yourself? Can anybody give me the figure? Answer? How much do you worth?
Priceless.
Well, good answer. But the other answer might also be human is not for sale, right? Even you got a price, you would never be sold. But if I put the question in the other way, how much does your organ value? Anybody has the answer?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you might think that is they're very expensive, but probably nobody in this room can tell. But in countries like Africa or somewhere in Middle East, then people probably a lot of people can give you the answer, because that's normally happens in the area, right? So they know exactly how much is kidney worth, how much is part of your hair worth, or probably we do have that price. But how much is part of your liver worth? Well, we don't have that answer, but they do. So organ trade, it's actually happened a lot in the world. But commercial organ trade, and by commercial I mean really selling it for money, is considered illegal around the world. But some of the companies still doing it. As you can probably see the lines, that means how they transfer from countries to countries. That means there are still that is still a practice that's still happening on the world. So that's considered illegal. But why that still exists? Why we still have those kind of things happen every day? Well, you can see a figure here, a statistic that at least 10,000 of the organs transplanted today come out of 70,000 are being trafficked. The donors are being trafficked from countries to take into the other country, to force to give their organ to the as the donor and to transplant it into affluent people in the country. So this is really happening. It's still happening. So as we know that illegal organ trade is still happening, but now probably you come up with a question: what can we do? What should we do? When we are thinking about this problem, probably you can think about what are the reasons to cause it happen, or more precisely, what are the problems that really cause this kind of situation happen? So now let's dig into what are the problems happening in all this process. I would like to in my 10 years of research in this area, I would like to introduce this kind of method in a structure of economic forces. As everybody here have taken the economic tests and classes, you must know that if we are talking about a market, the market is constructed by two major forces that are demand and supply. With those two forces together, they can build the market, and those two forces actually chain together to make the market work. So what is the market? The market here we are talking about is the illegal organ trade. But what are the forces to form them? From a figure here, over 123,000 patients are waiting for the organ, but only about 15% of the patients received the organ what they need. So that's only about more than 15%. And mind the gap that this is only the figure happening in the United States only. So you can imagine if it goes bigger and around the world. So the demand we are talking about in the organ trade market is not just about the increasing waiting list, but also the regulation all around the world that set the limitation of who can donate their organs and who can receive the organs, and also insufficient organ donation and organ adaptation. Some people's bodies simply reject the donations. From the supply end, there are some connections in the supply chain. The supply side, there are two forces that are poor education and poverty that can drive the people from poor area, from a financially challenged area, to give their organs into the people from the affluent countries, and sometimes by forces, or they have been deceived to recognize that it's not going to harm their health, or simply for poverty reason, that is for money. So what can we do? Here are some current solutions that are widely delivered and well in practice all around the world now. Like presumed consent, that means you need to sign before you die, and you recognize and promise that you would like to donate your organs after you die. And also, there are some rules, such as no give, no take, are practiced widely around the world that some countries have already set the presumed consent as default for everybody in the country. So everybody needs to promise to give your organs only if you sign out. And also, like encouraging donation, or some countries, they try to legalize the market to defeat the organ trade. So, for this little period, we talk about organ trade, and I will encourage you to think more about what you can do to this market. Since the current solutions are here, do you have more? And what can we do together to beat the illegal organ trade? Well, through organ trade, we are connected. Thank you.
Sorry.
Oh, actually, that's the end.
All right, well done. 15 seconds. We're going a couple of